The Brutalist is a bursting at the seams saga of bold men and their equally outsized visions, set across several decades in the aftermath of World War II. It is a grave, serious, visually sumptuous movie that puts a great many ideas into play. Starting with the tension between art and commerce, it largely focuses on one man in one place. But its concerns are more expansive and touch on everything from utopia to barbarism, desire, death, form, content, immigration, assimilation, and the promise and perils of modernity. Many movies offer up a slice of reality. True to the architectural aesthetic that its title invokes, this one offers a slab. The movie is built on a series of vivid contradictions, including those embodied by its protagonist, László Tóth, a Jewish-Hungarian architect and survivor of the Holocaust. He arrives on Ellis Island as a refugee and, in short order, travels to Philadelphia, where he finds complicated shelter amid the ghosts of America's colonial past. There, László experiences the feverish exuberance of post-war America, but also multiple, crushing defeats. He's lonely and forlorn, becomes homeless and an addict. He's also ambitious and finds towering success. László repeatedly suffers and rebounds, mostly, he endures. The Brutalist is a period drama with the ambitions of a historical reckoning. For László, who arrives destitute in the States, history is a wasteland. Given the Nazi destruction of European Jewry, it's hard to know where else he would go. In America, he at least has family. Once in Philadelphia, he reunites with his cousin, Attila, who lives with his pretty Catholic wife, Audrey, and runs a furniture business that carries his new name, Miller & Sons. The folks here, Attila explains, like a family business. They apparently don't like Jews, because Attila also says he's now Catholic. Soon after László arrives, Attila puts him up in a small room off the showroom. Like the hired help, he begins designing new furniture for Miller & Sons to replace its heavy, colonial revival-style pieces. His first piece, a cantilever chair with a frame made of tubular metal, looks like something that the Hungarian-born designer and architect Marcel Breuer would have designed. Breuer apparently said that he was inspired by a bicycle to make his first such chair, an association that Audrey echoes when she says László's chair looks like a tricycle. She's skeptical of László and his creations, maybe even suspicious. Corbett, who wrote the script with Mona Fastvold, doesn't explain Audrey's attitude outright. He folds a great deal into the Brutalist, slipping ideas and meaning into reminiscences and privately whispered confessions, but he also lets his larger themes surface in actions and in hard, cold gazes. If Audrey never openly says why she doesn't like László, she doesn't have to. He's family, so she's polite. But he's a stranger, a foreigner, and a reminder of her husband's heritage. When she looks at László, it's as if she were examining a strange, somewhat distasteful creature. Soon after they first meet, she says that she knows a doctor who can fix his nose, which seems broken. She all but asks him to fix his identity. It's a quick, pointed scene in a movie that grabs onto you immediately and builds steadily with measured, insistent force. Corbett can be subtle, though that's not his usual preference, but he's going for monumentality here. He likes big, bold moments and grand, metaphorically resonant images that he often pushes to the near breaking point. One of the first images in The Brutalist is an upside-down shot of the Statue of Liberty, a disorienting, topsy-turvy angle that conveys László's literal point of view as he emerges from the darkened depths of the ship that has carried him to America. The statue is already heavily freighted with complex, contradictory meaning that László embodies and is a harbinger of his destabilized story. It's also an emblem of Corbett's ambitions. Having been lauded by Lucas' forward-thinking, Harrison sets out to play the role of the modern man with a vengeance. Audrey may not like László's slight, open and simplified furniture, which, like his accent, hunger and deep melancholy, sets him apart from her settled middle-class life with Attila. But László is an avatar of an ideal that she can't begin to understand, a conceit that the story underlines when, early on, he tells Attila that his store's furniture isn't very beautiful. László isn't simply criticizing the pieces or making a casual judgment, but instead expressing an aesthetic sensibility, a philosophy, a worldview. Harrison doesn't understand, much less share, that worldview, but being a successful capitalist, he knows László's value to him as a means to an end. He pays László, buying his time, buying him. Throughout The Brutalist, Corbett gestures, openly and obliquely, toward ideas and history, and the movie's intellectual scaffolding. László studied at the Bauhaus, the German art school, where form followed function, and which drew artists and architects like Breuer, Kandinsky, and Mies van der Rohe. In 1933, the Nazis pressured the school to close. The rest is history, although, as László's story makes clear from the moment he lands in the United States in a journey that takes him from the old world to the new, from fascism to capitalism, from the horrors of the Holocaust to the smiling, totalizing embrace of the American century, and all it entails, it is a history that feels very present. Is it any surprise that this movie belongs to its villain?